Hello, beautifuls. Welcome back to my Chanel. And welcome to this series that I'm just genuinely not even sure what to even call. But we're basically going to do our monthly deep dive into the bizarre world of makeup trends on TikTok, aren't we, Biscuit?
Yeah, put me in a wig and call me Sandra.
So, my lovelies, I want to say a massive hello to the new followers from this series who have followed my YouTube Chanel and maybe now are watching my other videos like America's Next Top Model and Janet Dickinson's modelling agency and Wife Swap New Zealand Girls.
Quite the scandal, actually.
With that being said, my lovelies, if you don't know me, my name is Luxeria. I've been a makeup artist for 16 years, and I also have a biochemistry degree because I have a profound interest in the way things work. Yes, Mr. Biscuits.
Sandra.
And this is Biscuit, my co-host. Yes, do I taste nice? I probably taste of birthday cake. It was my birthday last week. So, my lovelies, throughout this series so far, we've seen some very interesting makeup practices. I feel like TikTok is almost like, how can I say this? It's like a super fast way of identifying makeup trends, almost like as they're happening, before they're happening, and after they've happened.
Oh, that's nice.
A lot of the stuff that we see over on TikTok when it comes to like genuine makeup, like applique masterclass, is usually older kinds of makeup techniques that have fallen out of favor, but are now being rebranded as trends and modern and new and fresh and fun and fruity and designer girls.
They were old maiden type of shoes.
What's this? What's the little nibble? Your silly little biscuit feet. So, my lovelies, without any further ado, shall we hop over to TikTok and see what's going on in the absolute abject chaos of the beauty world, shall we? Should we do that, Mr. Biscuits? You have no interest. You're just like, this specific finger, delicious. Grab a beverage. I'm on the Pepsi Max today, and let's see what TikTok has to offer, shall we all? Do you know what? I'm not going to say anything. I might be surprised if I watch the video and go, oh, yeah, saran wrap to the face, girl. Just what you need.
Nothing like it.
Y'all already know I'm trying, okay?
Jesus.
Let's do it. I have to poke holes so I can breathe.
Oh, what gorgeous nails.
Why is this
Right.
needed? So I'm just gonna apply. Okay, time to add contour. A bit of lip contour and some for the nose. Gonna snatch the jaw. We definitely need to add some blush. I'm gonna use that as lipstick
What?
too. A little bit here for some eyeshadow. I look like I should be in a horror movie.
It's a bit
flip it over.
Trixie Mattel.
I'm absolutely terrified, but
No,
we're just gonna
no.
this.
Right in the hairline.
Gorgeous, gorgeous girls blend out their saran wrap makeup.
They do.
Blend it out. Y'all already know.
Okay,
Let's
right.
try it,
I've got
okay?
some thoughts about this already. This can't be real. Imagine going into like, I don't know, a counter. You're like, excuse me, lady, I really like that foundation shade. Can I get a swatch upon my face? And they're like, sure. Out comes the saran wrap. Like, you would be like, what's about to happen?
What are they gonna do? Gonna shoot me? I doubt it. They have to catch me first. I'm like a whippet.
So this is the wonderful thing about TikTok is you do see some of the most bizarre ways of applying makeup. In one of the last episodes, we saw a filter style of like where to contour and highlight. Today, it's the saran wrap.
Of course it is.
Do you want to know what I'm not gonna do? I'm not going to belittle you all by saying that you shouldn't try this at home, because I'm assuming that you already know that this is probably not the best idea. Could you imagine turning up to like a wedding makeup trial and you're like, hello there, madam. Yes, I'm your makeup artiste. I have 28 years experience in the makeup industry. I am also a casual baker.
She's dead.
There's
Right,
no
what's
way
this?
this will work on a bald person. When I say bald person, I mean I literally have
Sorry, hang on.
no
What was that?
eyelashes.
Wait, what?
There's no way this will work on a bald person.
Or whatever happened to just putting on eyelashes the way they're meant to be put on? Like, not everything needs to be a hack. The hack of putting on eyelashes is the eyelashes are going on the eye.
Wow. Crazy. You're crazy, girl.
Right, let's watch. What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen next, girls? A great way to stitch the eye closed. Who wants eyes anyway?
Not me.
Bald person, I mean I literally have no eyelashes.
Yes,
So let's
okay.
try it out.
Ooh. I
Is
love
this
her little
trend
eyeliner.
passable for all my baldies out there? Test your fingers.
Yes, I agree.
Who
Oh,
would want to do this and why?
no, I don't think.
I don't think.
For what reason? Oh, I'm glad someone else is trying this on.
Okay.
Right. Can you... Oh!
She's dead.
No. No. And no.
Oh,
not
no.
passable. Ooh. That was dumb.
Remember, ladies, remember, always apply your eyelash glue directly to the optic nerve.
I am onto something huge here.
Okay, so I don't really know how my makeup artistry experience can come into this. From a biochemistry point of view, just don't put f***ing eyelash glue in your eye, girls.
I've done it now. It's too bleeding late. What they gonna do? Gonna shoot me?
I mean, I feel like that's an obvious thing to state. Is it obvious? Are we at a time now where we have to say things like, please don't put glue in your eye? There is actually a new type of lash system in which you can apply eyelashes underneath of your natural eyelashes as opposed to on top, and it gives a more like seamless effect. It's kind of like when you get Russians, where you get individual eyelashes like glued on, the ones that last for like 4 to 6 weeks, that kind of a thing. You can get like a similar system that you just apply and it's meant to stay on for like 7 days. I have never, ever, ever tried them. I've never been at a point in my life that I only need eyelashes on for 7 days. If anyone here in the audience has had experience with them, please let me know in the comments box below, because I'm interested about it. It's just not a part of my kit that I have ever needed to do. I guess it's much more of a consumer product, and although I feel like this is perhaps being advertised as like, just do it this way, really easy, it does feel a little bit like maybe young people are going to do this and be like, well, this is how I saw the lady on TikTok do it, so obviously that's the way you must do it if it's on TikTok, girls.
Which one is it on TikTok?
So no, I'm gonna say, please don't try this at home, but I'm glad that we've seen what happens when it goes wrong, because the original video,
This will work on a bald person.
it's like, snap, done, pussy, wonderful. Like, I just don't think, no. And what a great time to put in today's Twitch shout out, my lovelies. It goes to RayRaven8. Thank you so much for following me over on Twitch. If you want to be in with a chance of being featured in my next video's Twitch shout out, make sure you follow me on Twitch. It is Luxeria Plays.
I have this one pimple on my face that
Right.
will not be covered up no matter how much concealer I put on it, no
Right.
matter how many times I set it.
Right.
It just won't do it. It's still very visible. So what I did was I put a little brown eyeliner on it and disguised it as a freckle. Can you tell which one it is? Wait, let me get in better light.
Oh.
Okay, what do we think? Which one is it?
No, but this is an excellent...
Actually, no, I feel like it's so obvious. I shouldn't have pointed it out. I have this.
So actually, I do feel like this is an excellent idea. I have done this multiple times. So back in the day before baking and things like this, sometimes we used to use eyeshadows that would have particularly, how should we say, in a very elegant way on the internet, perplexing formulations that would sometimes lead to a lot of fallout. And unfortunately, sometimes that fallout would just not go from where it is. It would just land there and stay there. So incorporating that kind of a mistake into an overall makeup look is actually a really great way of disguising an error. So for me, sometimes I will put this glitter here at the edge of my eyeliner, right underneath. Sometimes I do it before I do my eyelashes and the rest of the eye look. I will use an eyelash curler, and sometimes the very, very edge will be still a bit wet, and the edge of my eyelash curler will touch that. I won't notice, and then putting it on my other eye, I end up with a print of glitter up here. Do you know the way we disguise that?
Turn your bug into a feature.
You add a little line of glitter, and then you've created a wonderful day to night look accidentally. I think the thing to remember is when you're starting out in makeup, or when you are doing a specific makeup look that maybe you've not done before, there is always a way to salvage something. Whether that's even going back over with concealer and just completely hiding the mistake, or incorporating it into something else. I remember once I was using this eyeliner, I think it was the NYX Epic Liner pen, and it was just like a bit gloopy, if you know what I mean. Like, it's very like spitty, splattery, like a bit like, oops. So I remember doing a liner on someone, and it kind of like flicked up here, and I was like,
Great, we have a jet black flick up here. It's not meant to be. What can I do?
turned it into a star, did one on the other side, and made the whole look a little bit more exciting. But I just also want to explain that sometimes a mistake is a happy accident.
Children.
Right, what's this? Oh, loud, copyrighted music. Oh no, right, what's this? Oh, is this the tape situation? Okay. Tape across the eyes, we want to do wings. Okay, so I do think this is somewhat salvageable. Am I going to sound like completely unrelatable woman on the internet at this point?
Yes!
So when you are creating an entire look with your face and you want that upswing effect, the one that's basically sort of the most on-trend look at the moment is the kind of like snatched up and away wind tunnel effect, the snatchural effect. It's always good to keep in mind that you're going to want to create triangles. Triangles look wonderful on the face, so triangles of like angles up, angles out. I do the same thing with my liner. So my liner line follows the same upswing as my jawline does, which then follows the same one as my contour. All of this adds to this kind of like up-pulled effect like this. It's one of my favorite things to do in makeup because I feel like it's so transformative. Granted, if you've got different kinds of eye shapes, you have to employ slightly different techniques. Maybe you need to curve your liner like this, or maybe you need to curve it like this, depending on what angle the edge of your eyelid actually like ends with.
She's educated.
Using something like this as a guideline is a great way, but you don't have to do all this tape nonsense. Let me show you. Biscuit, bring me my eyeliner. This, everybody, is my favorite liquid liner. This is the Brush Black Brushstroke 24-Hour Eyeliner by MAC. So, instead of putting tape on your face, rest it. And that's where you're going to do your line. How easy was that? And the fact that this even has a tip means that you could rest it here and just print a little upswing at the edge of each eye from the bottom of your nostril, and you will always have perfect liner every time. You don't need to put plasters on your face. Unless you want to. I don't know your business. Okay, a full face with a liquid lipstick. Right, slowly building it up. Oh, that's nice. Quite like that. Ooh. A soft, blended, smoky eye. Where's the fail going to be? Right. Okay. Perhaps a little bit heavy. Ooh. Right, we're doing the blush lip effect. Oh, contour on the nose. Blush on the nose, yes. I mean, that's not hideous. That is the kind of thing you would absolutely do on an editorial photo shoot. Like, absolutely.
It's fashion.
The wonderful thing about a lot of cosmetics is that they are multi-use products, and I feel like this is a great way to not cut corners. What's the way I want to use here? Like, get multi-use out of a product to create a more inexpensive kit. Let's go with that, shall we?
No.
So I, for example, love to use some of the eye-safe liquid lipsticks on my eye to create that really soft, blended, lived-in effect. Sometimes I feel like powders can be a bit too intense for something. However, when you do use a slight bit of lipstick, especially liquid lipstick, you can create those soft blush tones that are really like lived in, blended out, kind of like an underpainting vibe, a little bit showgirl-esque, but in much more of like a casual, everyday glam kind of thing. For example, the way that I do my bronzer at the moment is by taking a foundation that is a deeper tone than my skin tone, but still in the gold spectrum. I will apply it in these areas here. I do a couple of dots up here and a couple of dots under here, and a little bit along the jaw. Blend that in with my actual wet foundation and then set on top, and it gives a gorgeous shadow but bronzed effect in a way that is less intense than with powder. I mean, I have put a little bit of powder over the top here because I am in front of a camera and I do need to make a little bit more of an effort than just I would in my day-to-day life.
Oh, that's nice.
So I technically don't think that this is a fail, like, at all. This is a great way of getting extra use out of a product you might already have in your kit. The thing that I will say is always make sure your lipsticks are eye safe because sometimes they aren't. This can be down to certain types of pigments that are in fact not actually pigments, they are dyes. Usually things with like a heavy red base in them usually cross the line into like dyes rather than pigments because now we don't use a lot of carmine in products anymore.
Lots of bugs and too dangerous.
But this, for me, gorgeous. Loved it. The way she smoked out that little tiny bit up here, excellent. I think that would suit everyone. Right, here we go. Oh no, copyright ladies. Oh no. Rainbow contour, help. Oh no. What a good. We are flying through these. Lube as primer. Oh no. Yeah, okay, right. We're gonna stop right there. So, What adult creme was that? What is that? Do we know what that is? Does that say ylang ylang? No, it can't be. Is it?
Shut up, it is not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's ylang ylang massage lube. No, we're not doing any of all that. So, I remember when this was a trend, and I think it was Durex? Was it Durex that had to post a statement saying,
Please do not put lube on your face under your makeup. It's not designed for that.
So, one of my absolute favorite ingredients in cosmetics and formulations across the board, girls, is something called cyclopentasiloxane. It is a silicone that evaporates from the skin but leaves a gorgeous glow and slip. It is present in all kinds of adult products, big titty lady videos on the internet, and it's also present in nearly all silicone-based primers for the skin. So while I will say don't immediately go to the third drawer down in your chest of drawers next to your bed in your bedroom, you know what I mean, don't immediately reach into there and grab it, but I will say that you are likely to see some of the same ingredients across different types of products because they perform in very specific ways that give very specific results. You might find something like cyclopentasiloxane in an adult-based silicone lubricant because it actually provides an amazing slip, and that's kind of what you want to happen in your makeup as well. You want it to slip and slide onto the face beautifully, but you also want it to set, hence the evaporation process. So while I will ultimately say please don't use your lube as primer, I will also say that they come from the same sort of manufacturers. Yes.
I'm a slut, Doug.
I tried the makeup
Ooh,
tape pack and this
makeup
is what
tape?
happened.
Oh yeah, no, don't do that. Oh! No. Gagged. Oh no, that's so much work gone. So if you can't tell what happens here, in this makeup look, they've glued down their eyebrows and they've put tape to create that really upswing look that I was talking about earlier. You can use tape to create these really dramatic showgirl-esque style makeups, and I think it actually works really, really well for them. I will say just be careful what's in the area first. I probably wouldn't recommend doing it with brows glued down. I mean, as long as you know what's on your skin first and you're avoiding the area, it would make sense. But honestly, at this point in the makeup look, this must have taken a good hour or so to get to this point, and to see it ruined so fast by something so quick as like, whoop, is so disheartening because we've all been there, haven't we? We've all been there. We've all done that. We've all been in our bedrooms with pink eyeshadow on and our eyebrows glued down and we've gone up.
Are you that sort?
I don't know your business. You might have. In this sort of a situation, unfortunately, it doesn't seem like it would be salvageable. There isn't usually many scenarios in which I would say makeup is like unsalvageable, but when it comes to something as key as the base structure being disrupted, then yes, unfortunately, it does seem like you might have to redo it. Not fun when it happens, is it? Especially if you're on a time constraint, which everyone always is, ever. I will also say, don't just use like straight up sellotape on your face. It's usually not going to be very good for the skin. It can cause irritation. It can cause contact dermatitis. You can get like the glue on the skin is not going to be very good. Underneath that, if you put any makeup on top of that, it might look a bit funky. If you're really stuck and you don't have cosmetic tape, you can use something like masking tape. What I would usually do, put it on the back of my hand first, then peel it off so it doesn't have as much adhesive on it, and then apply it to the area. Alternatively, get yourself one of those small cards, whether it's a debit card, membership card, even a flyer or poster edge or something like that, something with a hard edge, and just do it by freehand and you'll still get the same effect.
I'm a professional woman.
Right. Oh gosh, quiet.
Which is like taking your eyelash curler and making like a whole eyelash like look. Eyeshadow
God.
look? What am I saying? Anyway,
Make an eyelash
I'm totally
look.
nervous because I've never done this before. I'm scared if this is actually going to turn out. And
Right.
I'm probably going to go into this brown shade right here.
Oh, a nice,
oh, no,
yes.
Guys, I'm scared.
Right.
Scared.
Oh, I see. It
So
says a
you're supposed to,
guideline.
place it over your eye like this. And
Okay.
then you're supposed to go above this line.
Oh, that's a bit much
Scared.
product.
I'm so scared. Like, how far am I supposed to go? I don't know how far. But also, am I moving too much? I don't know what I'm doing. This is scary.
Oh.
She's dead.
Okay, it kind of created like a halo eye, kind of, not really. But also, I feel like
Not
the
really.
shadow ended up over here.
Ah.
Which I'm gonna have to fix.
No.
But,
It's not
why
working.
did I do
I think
this?
you
Why
should
did I do
stop.
this? Why did I do this?
Oh no. Oh.
I mean, I can see what it's doing.
You can see what it's
I'm gonna have to
doing.
fix it up,
you can
though,
see
but,
where it's going. You got
okay.
on
You're
the airplane, but we
supposed to
don't know the
use the bottom
destination.
of this to like create your crease.
Is this the eyeliner section.
So scary.
That
Like, I
has
have to
potential.
film today.
Potential.
And I feel like I'm messing this up.
Oh dear.
No.
Well, with a bit of tidying, yes. Yes.
No.
Yes.
I was better off using tape. It's not that bad. I just need to soften it up. I need to fix this. Hold on.
Right, so let's talk about why this is not going to work. So when it comes to eye shapes, they are different for every single person. I mean, granted, like, you can kind of see similarities between people's eye shapes, because you'll say, like, most like makeup consumers will have a socket line in which they can put makeup around and make it look gorgeous and bijou and femme and stun. I will say, using something like an eyelash curler, where's mine? Let me get mine. I have the Dior lash curler. You do not need to get the Dior lash curler. I just like the idea of being like, designer.
She's a woman.
This is not the size of my eye. If I put this here, actually it does seem to be the size of my eye. Cancelled! If I was to put this on other people's eyes, it may not be the size of their eye, and therefore would not create the contour idea that this is. This is the same sort of thing that we've seen multiple times in this video already. It is the idea of using an object to help create a contour where there was no contour before. Personally, I think although I love a cut crease, I'm not a huge fan of like the solid line cut creases as I used to be about 10 years ago. I used to love it, lived in it, would do it every day, girls. Something like this is not going to be very helpful. You can also see people doing it with like a spoon and things like that. I think freehanding it throughout the crease is the best option, and then tidying up with either powder or a little bit of concealer if you really want that striking strong line. I will say, however, this is obviously not quite the same, but something that goes to the outside of the eye to help create a line like this. Look, see, that could quite happily fit under my eyeliner there. That has potential, but at the end of the day, it's much easier to create a line and then go around with something else like glitter liner, concealer, another eyeliner in order to really tidy up the shape. I feel like these are quite like early into makeup hacks and advice to use an object like this in this sort of a way. I feel like they just kind of create a little bit more difficulties than are necessary. As I say, it's easier to make the line, mess it up, and then correct that line than it is to kind of finagle an entire handle into your eyeball. But that's just me, girls. If you use random objects around your house to help you do your makeup, please let me know in the comments. What's your favorite household item? What is that? Why did I say that? Disgusting. Oh, here we go. Oh no, copyright. Oh, this is not the tea. This is not the... Oh, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Custard. That baby that eats peanut butter.
Does it feel good?
Oh, I hate it. Oh, is that just it? Is that the makeup tutorial? There is that really famous TikTok girl that does this. She just literally like slathers it in and then leads us to believe that that's actually how she does her foundation. Foundation isn't meant to be worn in a God-honoring way. Foundation isn't really meant to be worn in this sort of a way. I mean, obviously, this is a piss take, shall we say. However, I do sort of feel like sometimes people are going to think that they need to wear more makeup than they do. Personally, although I do wear a considerable amount of makeup, nothing looks worse, in my opinion, than if you overload the skin with product. Each thing that you have on your skin needs to be considered. Don't just follow your favorite YouTuber on the internet who might be like, oh, you need to use all of these products. You don't necessarily. I feel like a lot of beauty content now is just covert advertising. And in a way, it's sometimes useful because we get to see certain types of products that wouldn't be used in certain types of ways. But generally, I think less is a bit better when it comes to the skin. You can go absolutely batshit bonkers with your eye look, and I feel like that can kind of be a saving grace no matter what you do. But there are definitely some guidelines when it comes to makeup, and I feel like, you know, clean, freshly applied skin is always going to be like a goal of mine in that guideline book. Right,
I'm going to use this to blend my foundation.
Oh
if you don't
my
know what
God.
This spin
Oh no, you're going to rip out your eyelashes.
Used to clean your makeup brushes with, okay? It comes with the kit and everything.
Oh, it's...
But you're supposed to stick it in the jar and then clean your makeup brushes with it. But I thought it could be fun to try to blend with spinning.
Oh God.
Or it could hurt really bad.
What's going to happen?
But we're going to find
probably.
out. I just took off like my full beat from today just so I could try this.
Okay.
Let's get some foundation on our face.
Can we, I would also like to say, can we stop putting foundation on the face in this kind of a way? I don't know when this started, but it makes me quite upset. I don't usually get upset on the internet. Complete falsifications I do nearly every day.
So you're a liar.
Foundation is meant to be used sparingly unless you're doing like a full coverage look. And even then, you would never need quite this much. But I want to see how it blends.
No, I did not just do that. All over my brand new Lululemon sweatpants. Love that. Oh, why this?
Not the lemons, right?
Let's do it, I guess. Oh my god.
Oh. No. This is so dangerous.
Whoa! It's not like even blending. Hold on. We're gonna have to
Well, no,
figure
because you
this
can't
out.
apply any
What
force.
the hell? Okay.
Wiggly woman on the game.
Slow it down a little bit. What the hell? All right, let's get it going.
I mean, it's a fun, cute little challenge. Why not? But like, it's not without its danger. That could literally be like, eyeball girl, gone.
I hear that's how she died.
Okay, let's do the chin.
Are we going to see something here where it's like, oh, and now she's glamorous?
Okay, we're getting somewhere. You just have to barely hover. Oh, I just put myself in the eye. Ooh! What the fuck? Look at that coverage. I'm pretty sure this is the stupidest thing I have ever done. It's low-key working, though.
She's
like,
quite...
it's not beautiful whatsoever. Like, this is definitely not a technique I'm going to implement. But it's definitely blending. When it does this, it reminds me of, you know what this reminds you of.
Big titty lady videos on the internet.
She's fucking out of control.
Oh, she is going for it, girls.
God, this
She's
one
gone.
so long. Okay, let's get serious. This is definitely not what it's meant
She's
for
really committed
at
to
all.
this, isn't she? Oh dear, off she goes.
Get over this. Okay, well, this is
the finished
final
look.
I would
Oh,
say
gorgeous,
she's
stunning, never been seen before. Paris
know,
runway who?
Snatched. Also, this really fucking hurt because I put myself in the eye like 3 times. I wonder if I like do contour with the side. Hold on.
Oh no, here we go, girls. Are you ready? Brace yourself.
We're gonna die.
Dead. Immediately snatched.
Oh, okay. You see that?
No.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, so sure. I mean, what am I meant to say about that? Like, clearly this is just like a fun little thing. I love that one of the hashtags here is Genshin Impact. Unrelatable content. I do feel like every now and then we do see some of these tools that are designed to like blend your makeup applique. Like they're like these sort of a thing. I can imagine someone designing a foundation brush that rotates. If I'm not mistaken, I'm sure it probably already exists somewhere. There are better ways of doing it. I mean, a brush to apply foundation is not my personal preference with foundation. Definitely for areas that you need a little bit more coverage, like concealer and things, I think a brush can make a great addition to the arsenal, girls. Don't say arsenal.
Viral makeup hacks that don't fucking work.
These
9 out
things.
of 10 contour hacks that go viral are whack. They're
Yes,
just
they
meant
are.
to be eye-catching to get you to stop and watch.
Yes.
Same thing goes for these TikTok filters.
Yes.
Most of them are so off and don't really adjust to your face shape.
Yes.
The most recent makeup hack that has just irked me is this technique where you apply white foundation under a darker foundation. Apparently it gives you a filter effect, but all it did was make my foundation look hella cakey.
Interesting. Okay, interesting. Actually, I will probably not necessarily agree with that last statement there. So, this part here where this makeup artist puts white on first and then a color over the top actually does have some scenarios in which it could work if you are a fair-skinned individual. Rewind the clock, 12 years for me. I could not for the life of me find a pale enough foundation that would actually look lovely on my skin without it giving me an undertone I didn't have, or pulling a little bit orange in certain lights, or just looking a little bit too heavy for my liking. I used to use something known as the MAC Face and Body Foundation in white, girls, and I would put a very, very light layer all over my skin and then go in with a powder foundation. It was actually the Illamasqua powder foundation in the shade L120, but they don't do that anymore. And that used to give me gorgeous skin. It was kind of like that velvety soft finish that you would expect from a powder foundation, but because I'd put white on underneath, I wasn't adding any extra tone to my skin. I was just getting the color from the powder foundation and a little bit of extra coverage from the white foundation. So yes, this is in fact actually doable. I just wouldn't do it with liquids. I'd do it with a combination of a liquid or a cream base if you want, if you're that way inclined, and then a powder over the top. And you can create some really interesting but gorgeous soft focus skin that way. Oh, let's see this. What's this? Pink powder? Oh,
that may actually be genius. Got my setting
Okay.
powder in a cap, a really old like Wet n Wild palette. Then I'm gonna use
Right.
this shade and just scrape it into the powder. Ta-da!
Right. What are we
do
doing?
A little mixy, light pink, and a powder puff. I have already set my face, but we're gonna use this to set my under
Oh, you're
eyes.
gonna ruin it. No! That's a blush. What you've made is a
The
blush.
pink I used may have been a little bit too pigmented. It's
Yes.
kind of looking like I just got mugged. Trust the process, trust the process.
No, there is no trusting in this
I just had to take all my makeup off and start over. So
Yes.
don't do that.
Yeah,
just
don't
let the
do
pink
it.
powder.
Okay, so let's talk about pigment, shall we? When it comes to face powders in cosmetics, girls, face powders often have such a low amount of pigment that it's barely noticeable on the skin. So when you take something like an eyeshadow that has an incredibly high amount of content, especially something bright pink that might have like a magenta lake sort of color to it, which sometimes I think they are dyes and sometimes I think they are pigments, right? Sometimes you're going to need to use like the tiniest amount ever. I feel like sometimes in the cosmetics formulation world, I feel like people on the outside who maybe don't have any experience with formulating a product at all will assume that the pigment is what gives you the coverage. It's not quite that straightforward. Usually it's the other ingredients in the formulation that determine how sort of like thick, for lack of a better word, the coverage is going to be. Pigment is absolutely a part of that equation, but it's not the entire equation. Quite often you'll find in face powders they have less than 5% pigment, and sometimes it's even less than 1%. When it comes to foundation, there's a bit more of a range. But if you want to create like a gorgeous bijou highlighting powder, and you want to do it by yourself at home, don't try it on a full face of makeup you've just applied. And always, always use much less than you think you need. But I do absolutely love this little trend that we're seeing in today's video, girl, of using products in an unintended way. I do really like that. Except the swirling brush situation. No. And you know what, my lovelies? I think we're going to leave it there, aren't we, Biscuit, for this month's episode of Unhinged Makeup TikTok Fails, girl. I feel like what we've seen today is a lot of beginner-based techniques, or maybe like early interest in makeup techniques, designed to try and make your life a little bit easier that actually probably end up complicating it a little bit more than you would in fact want to. I mean, I feel like at this point in my career, I've said so much about makeup on the internet. I feel like I might even be repeating myself quite a lot of the time. It's good to experiment, and when you get to experiment with certain types of makeup and realize what just doesn't work for you, or if you do something and you're like, actually, this could work if it was, you know, finessed a little bit, then I think that is the best way to approach makeup as someone fresh into makeup. Goodness me. Lap of luxury. And with that, my lovelies, it's time for the Patreons. You can see yourself scrolling past on the screen right here. Yes, you can, my loves. Are you sleepy because it's really hot and you've got no energy? We'll go out for a nice nighttime walk tonight so it's not hot on your little tootsies. Yes. And with that, my lovelies, as always, I want to say a massive thank you to my top tier Patreons. Orkos Samoji, Beebles32, Shell Herman, Christy Crownover, Christina Kyle, ContraPoints, Danielle, Elizabeth Stone, Eric Castillo, Fable and Flourish, Jen Martin, Jenabeth Herman, Caitlin Wright, Laura Jane again, Les Banana, Lizette Cares, Millie Hammond, Min Min TM, Mariah Sherman, Novembrix, Paolo Rivera, Ryan Vita, Slampire Queen, Steffi Tech, The Chaos Collective, Victoria Corella, and Zoe Sevier. If you love my content and you wish to support the Chanel a little bit more and get access to some exclusive extra stuff like outtakes, the Discord, and old live streams, check out the Patreon link in the description box below, and I will be very appreciative. Yes, thank you. And you know what, my loves? I'm gonna leave it on the notes of, the great thing about makeup is that it does wash off, so if you are gonna try out anything new in your makeup routine, don't do it before you have to go to a very expensive, important event in 20 minutes and oh my god, I'm gonna try out this new thing and put pink powder right underneath the eyeball, girl. No. Do yourself a favour and don't do that.
I've done it now. It's too bleeding late. What are they gonna do? Gonna shoot me? I doubt it. They'd have to catch me first. I'm like a whippet.